Hi, good afternoon, everyone. This is Liz Davis. I am a nutritionist and I specialise in digestive health for busy women. So I help busy women fix their IBS, bloating, heartburn, painful digestion, any associated issues, chronic fatigue, hormone problems, etc. etc. And I do this with state-of-the-art testing and dietary upgrades, supplements, etc. to help to bring things nicely back into balance for you. So I was going to touch on an issue that sometimes crops up, and that is parasites. Sometimes when we test, parasites do show up, and of course people's reaction is normally one of horror. Oh, what's happening? Why have I got parasites, etc., etc. And it does sound horrible. So it's not always as bad as that. So if you have parasites present in your gut, it's normally as part of an overall issue of dysbiosis or bacterial imbalance. So it's not normally as bad as it sounds. Also, sometimes parasite infections can be really bad and can be really very debilitating indeed. So a parasite essentially is any kind of organism which is living off you, so potentially eating, consuming nutrients that you consume, etc. You also have useful parasites. For example, some parasites live on the skin, and they are useful because they eat dead skin cells, that kind of thing. So they can be useful, they can be kind of, you don't notice them at all, and they don't have any effect, or they can be really quite debilitating. So examples of parasites are some you might have heard of if you're travelling abroad. So there's Giardia, there's Entamoeba. Those two are common in if you go to kind of warmer countries, etc. There's also common threadworms, tapeworms, hookworms, etc., which can be picked up here as well. So parasites can be picked up by anybody. Doesn't matter what your kind of health status is, and normally they come about through consuming contaminated food or drink, that kind of thing. Okay, so what do you do then? If your test results come back as you've got parasites, what's the best approach to take? So it's worth bearing in mind that if parasites do show, that you've probably had them there for a long time, and they're probably not, they may be contributing to your symptoms, but not necessarily. Some people will live quite happily with the parasites in their gut and they're not causing any problems at all. Sometimes those effects, though, can be quite significant. So it's always worth taking a look, and then also taking a look at the bigger picture as well. What's happening in your gut generally to have given rise to this, because it could just be the fact that you've had your gut's been in a state of dysbiosis, so that's allowed the parasites to take hold. So then it's a case of just bringing that gut environment back into balance again and making sure your gut immunity is healthy and stuff. So just to kind of curb the growth or curb the kind of reproduction of those parasites there. So around 80% of people, it's thought, have actually got parasites living in your gut. So there again, if it does crop up on your test results, there's no need to panic, and do be assured that it's quite common, and it's normally because of imbalanced gut flora, leaky gut syndrome, that kind of thing. So a couple of the species that do tend to crop up on test results are Blastocystis hominis and Dientamoeba fragilis. These two parasites can give rise to typical kind of IBS symptoms, diarrhea, etc. They can also cause you to be to feel quite ill. So those two tend to crop up a lot, and we can normally kind of use supplements and stuff to get things back into balance for you, and it can turn out that they are an issue for you. Or sometimes they're not so much. So, you know, it really depends. So what do you do? I wouldn't recommend going in and doing any kind of herbal treatment on the assumption you have parasites. I would always test first just to make sure you know what you're dealing with, and also working with a practitioner is also preferable when you're going in to do this kind of treatment. So typically you would be looking at using stuff like herbs like oregano, berberine, grapefruit seed extract to kind of eradicate those parasitic infections. However, these herbs are very, very strong. And as I say, I wouldn't use them on your own because they can start to have a negative impact on your gut environment as a whole if you're using them for too long. Sometimes if you use them at all, some people don't react to them very well at all. So a better way actually is just to improve the overall health of the gut and go in that way. And once you do that, then the gut tends to just naturally rebalance itself anyway over time. So you can absolutely help it do its thing though with food. So if you add in plenty of foods like garlic and onions, these are great prebiotics. They also contain sulfur, which has anti-parasitic compounds. There's ginger as well, which is great for gut motility. It's also antibacterial and has anti-parasitic effects as well. Papaya and pineapple, both fabulous for gut health and also are quite strongly anti-parasitic. Coconut oil again is great as a great all-rounder for your gut. There's your probiotic foods and other kind of all-round health tonics like apple cider vinegar is great. But if you are having apple cider vinegar, then really kind of watch your teeth because it can impact those quite negatively, which wouldn't be ideal. So just in summary then, having a parasitic infection is highly likely to be part of a kind of overall picture of gut health imbalance, and a natural gentle approach to bring things back into balance is normally what's required. However, sometimes they can be very problematic, in which case a visit to your GP could be in order to kind of eradicate them. So you have parasite infections right across the board, from very bad to harmless. So, it's kind of just ascertaining what you've got going on in there and approaching it in an appropriate way. Okay, I hope you found that useful. If you would like to book a call with me, use the link below. And there's some links to some freebies as well and an online program there to help you restore your gut health balance. So I hope you found that useful, and I shall see you next time.